Hello everyone, this is your host Vaibhav. I welcome all of you to today's session of Daily Stock, in which we are going to take a look on the earnings report of the Meta, which is the parent company of the well-known social network, which no needs special introduction, the Facebook, and equally vital is its sister network, the Instagram. And in the new generation, the Instagram is all rage. We all love posting our videos, our photos, our reels to it. And this popularity makes the Instagram, Facebook, and its allied social networks like WhatsApp, etc. the all people's favorite, and that makes its parent company Meta tick. Its earnings are rising because its daily active users, its monthly active users are on the rise year on year and quarter on quarter. And if we look at the initiatives which the company took way back in 2022 and 2023, the early part of 2023, where it embarked on a cost cutting measure to streamline and make Facebook, the Meta, a leaner and meaner company, that seems to be paying off as its revenues have grown, and at the same time the cost of revenue have gone down, which have resulted in its net profit more than tripling. So this is something which is a remarkable achievement, and that has propelled the Facebook in a $1 trillion club, with the earnings propelling the Meta's share price around 20 percentage on the day of its release. This is a very big achievement if you look at the size of the Meta, and then after that, if you incorporate that kind of move, which is a, I think, a phenomenal development for the shareholders of the Meta. And here we are looking at these quarter's earnings, and how these earnings position the company for the coming future, both near term as well as long term, and not to forget the medium term. So all these three different timelines which we are going to consider and look at its outlook. Now let us go into the highlights. Of course, I won't be able to take you through the whole of the report. You can refer refer to this report, which is available on its Instagram. Sorry, its investors page, the base investor page. You can download and read the report in details. Here, I will just take you through the key highlights, the key achievements for the company. Here, the growth in family daily active people, the family monthly active people, the Facebook daily active users, the Facebook monthly active users, all this is listed, and how the revenue from ad impressions and price per ad is doing has also been listed. The revenue has risen significantly to cross $40 billion mark for the quarter, and the US dollar almost 135 billion for the whole year, which is the increase of 25% and 16% year over year, respectively. Now we go straight to the income statement. In income statement, you can see the details of how the company has benefited from its initiatives to cut cost and improve its operating margin, its net profit. Here you can see that the revenue for the 3 months ended December 31st, 2023 is $40.1 billion, whereas a year back for the quarter ended December 31st, 2022, the revenues stood at $32.16 mark. Now, this is the growth of more than 20 percentage point in terms of year on year. And if we look at the yearly numbers, there is also 16 percentage point growth in annual numbers. But the interesting thing is this reduction in the cost of revenue, the cost of marketing and sales, and general administration, because on these three heads, the company's cost has gone down. That has contributed to the decline in the expenses. And after looking at the research and development figures, which is slightly higher, you can see that the company is cutting cost where it can, while at the same time spending more on the R&D, the research and development projects to enhance the value for coming quarters, coming years. So it is positioning itself for benefiting from these new AI wave and the metaverse. It is spending heavily on that front and reducing the cost where it can. This is quite a development for the company because it is opening up a lot of headroom for the company to spend the money where it wants to spend and avoid other expenses. And this is, I think, why it has now turned into the investors' darling. It is doing remarkably well, and I think from short term to the medium term, and even from the long term perspective, we are likely to see the meta continue to do well for at least a while before this growth starts to slow down. At the moment, it is enjoying one of its best bull run phase of its listing period since it listed way back in 2020, 2012. This is one of the best phase I think Meta is experiencing in its share price rally, and there are good reasons to believe that this rally is likely to continue at least for coming quarters. So here we are looking to profit from these leaner and meaner Facebook operations. The net profit, as I said in my introductory remarks as well, has more than tripled from 4.6 billion US dollars to US dollar 14 billion. And if we look at the net income for the whole year, it is also significantly higher and not very far off from doubling in annualized term as well. So for the quarter, the growth looks more remarkable, and even for the whole year, the numbers are quite good, quite impressive to see the company being able to double its annual income in a span of year is nothing short than phenomenal, and that has freed up a lot of cash for the company to spend on share purchases, share repurchases, dividends, and of course the investments for the future. As the company's cash pile has grown, the company's ability to invest for the future, for the better future, is also going to grow, and it will be unparalleled in its peer group, as its cash pile has now climbed to more than $40 billion. This is a significant cash hold, and company will be able to spend wherever the need arises or wherever it sees the opportunity, as its cash and cash equivalent has now grown almost threefold from where it was just a year back. So, if we consider these earnings report in totality, the only thing you can say is what a remarkable achievement it has been for the Facebook to generate this kind of numbers. Now, if we consider the share price reaction to it, it was almost expected. You can see and say now in the hindsight, but of course, before the release of earnings report, it would have been difficult endeavor to gauge the extent of rise, which is now all for us to see. And in the near term, I feel we still have the room for further growth in the Facebook shares if the Facebook continues to hold around these 460, 470 mark in next couple of sessions. I indeed feel that there is the opportunity for us to trade and adopt a buy on dips strategy as long as it doesn't really dip below 450 or those levels. So if you are looking for short-term opportunity, the immediate support base is going to be the low of this consolidation phase, which is around 455. And if we took that as a critical number, then of course it becomes much easier for us to manage the risk. So watch out for the share price movement of the Facebook over next couple of sessions, and if it continually holds above these threshold, I feel that we can expect it to climb towards 500 or thereabout in coming sessions, so we can indeed adopt a buy on dips approach in the share price of the Facebook in coming sessions. The outlook is not really going to be much different from the medium term perspective as well. There also, the only thing which we can do at the moment is going to be to keep looking for the opportunities to buy. The sale option should not be exercised, at least not for next couple of weeks, looking at this momentum, the strong momentum in the Facebook's share price in recent past. It has been continually making newer highs, the higher highs and higher lows for last couple of months, and then it topped it up with this phenomenal uptick of more than 20% post the earnings release, and now it is sitting pretty on these higher levels. So for next couple of days, next couple of weeks, it will be interesting to see how things shape up. I don't really advise, if your outlook is for next couple of weeks or next couple of months, it is not really advisable to buy on these elevated levels. Maybe you can adopt a buy on dips strategy if there is consolidation for a couple of weeks, and then you can think about the newer opportunities. But for the next few weeks, maybe 3 4 weeks, it is better to simply avoid doing any kind of trade and investment related activities in the share price of the Facebook. And from the longer term perspective, the answer is not going to be much different here also. From the longer term perspective, I think the opportunity to buy is now behind us. We will have to adopt a cautious approach on these elevated levels, because the Facebook is now sitting on the all-time high level. There has been significant rally since its consolidation phase in the second half of 2023. We will have to be patient and wait for next deep and consolidation before we can get ready for further move on the upside. So my advice is to adopt a wait and watch approach, and maybe in course of time you will have better the opportunities with better risk reward ratio for you to exploit in this bull run of the Facebook. So that's my outlook looking at the technical charting, and prior to that we had already considered the fundamental developments for the Facebook, its earnings report, and on all this front, the only thing to do in the Facebook is to buy and go long in its shares or futures. But there, we also have to be mindful of the risk reward ratio and the possibility of it simply consolidating and not really going anywhere for next couple of weeks or next couple of months. So, keeping that possibility in mind, I would adopt and also advise a prudent approach, and maybe the time to invest and trade from the long term and medium term will also come. If you're a short-term trader and investor, as I have said, next few days in this week itself will give you the answer whether you should go for it or sit on the sidelines. So that's my outlook looking at the share price of the Meta Inc., which is the parent company of the Facebook. We have also considered the solid results of the last quarter of fiscal year 2023. So, keeping all these things in mind, I feel that the decision is quite clearer. Only the timing will have to be decided and adopted depending on the momentum for the trade and your time horizon. So that's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in the feedback and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. Do like and subscribe to the channel if you have found this information provided useful to you. We have equally informative sessions going on every day on different topics. Do follow the channel and you will be informed regularly regarding the market development.